As I mentioned before, mammalian milks contain bioactive species-specific mRNA fragments. Research done over the last 10, 15 years has shown that mammalian milks contain these bioactive messenger RNA fragments that affect and alter the infant mammal's physiology. Researchers are still working to fully uncover exactly how these mRNA sequences affect gene expression in these nourishing animals. It is also not clear to what extent the mRNA fragments may have activity across species. Some studies have suggested that they may not affect humans, but other studies have hinted at exactly the opposite conclusion, that in fact, they do affect our physiology and can change and alter our gene expression. And if, in fact, it is ultimately found that these mRNA sequences do alter our gene expression in human, children, and adults, it would help explain some of the deleterious effects that consumption of cow's milk and other dairy products are known to have on human health and physiology. It may be that by consuming cow's milk, we are in fact programming ourselves to become bovids or cows instead of humans, with disastrous consequences. So what about bone health, right? Because everybody says, well, you need to drink cow's milk so you can get your calcium, which is a bunch of hooey. And, the idea is that you don't want to end up like these poor chickens here at the boneless chicken ranch with no solid bones. So I ask you, do you got osteoporosis? Well, aggressive marketing by the dairy industry suggests that the best way to protect your bones is by consuming dairy products on a regular basis. But guess what? These claims are not based on science. By the way, I got a little message a minute ago that somebody had their hand raised up. I'm going to ask you to write your question down, save that question till we get to the question and answer section, and then we'll get to it. Dairy calcium, again, get this. I don't care if you don't remember nothing else I said from this lecture. Dairy calcium has never been shown to decrease the risk for osteoporosis. Okay, do you hear me? Dairy calcium has never been shown to decrease the risk for osteoporosis. All of that crap about milk building your skeleton is complete male bovine fertilizing. In fact, the Harvard Nurses Health Study showed that the women who drank the most milk had the highest risk for hip fracture. A variety of plant foods contain abundant calcium. Cows get calcium from green plants. They don't drink milk, and there's plenty of calcium in their milk. Moose and other deer grow antlers made out of solid bone. A rack of antlers on an adult moose weigh 85 pounds. A human skeleton from a 6-foot man only weighs about 25 pounds. These moose grow these antlers in 3 months. They're made of solid bone, weigh up to 85 pounds, and all they eat are green plants. You do not need milk to build bone. Get that out of your mind. That is just a bunch of nonsense created by the dairy industry to dupe you into sucking on the teats of another animal for no good reason. So if you got milk, you just might have osteoporosis, okay? If you think about it, all the animals and most of the other humans in the world show that liquid sources of calcium are simply not the best way to obtain calcium throughout your lifetime, nor is it the best way to build a strong adult skeleton. The rest of the mammals in the world don't drink milk throughout their lives. They stop drinking milk once they're weaned. It is just idiotic to think that you're supposed to drink milk all your life. This is crazy. Milk is for babies, period. Okay, just saying. So let's look at some data. This shows the incidence of hip fracture versus consumption of cow's milk. Guess what? The more milk you drink, the higher your risk of hip fracture. Duh. Age-adjusted hip fracture incidence in adult women versus animal protein intake. Guess what? In the countries where they eat the most animal protein, they have the most hip fractures. I mean, I'm telling you, people, I'm so tired of the misinformation and the misleading, data. I could just bay at the, at the moon. Our bodies don't store protein, so there is absolutely no benefit to eating a diet full of protein. All you're doing is flushing calcium down the toilet. So there's no advantage to consuming protein in excess of your daily needs. All protein that is not utilized for actually building tissue ends up being converted into carbohydrate. And because animal proteins are not buffered, the sulfur that's in these the excess protein is metabolized to acid, and that causes calcium to be mobilized from your bones so that the phosphate can neutralize that acid, and that ends up weakening your bones and contributing to the development of osteoporosis and ultimately hip fractures. Plant proteins are always buffered by phosphate, and therefore they don't cause excess acid production or significant calcium loss, even when eaten in excess, and have not been shown to increase the risk for developing osteoporosis. And as a result, vegan women have been shown to have stronger bones both before and after menopause than women that eat meat. Milk does not build strong bones. First of our videos.
Milk is touted to build strong bones, but a compilation of all the best studies found no association between milk consumption and hip fracture risk, so drinking milk as an adult may not help bones. But what about in adolescence? Harvard researchers decided to put it to the test. Studies have shown that greater milk consumption during childhood and adolescence contributes to peak bone mass, and is therefore expected to help avoid osteoporosis and bone fractures in later life. But that's not what they found. Milk consumption during teenage years was not associated with a lower risk of hip fracture, and if anything, milk consumption was associated with a borderline increase in fracture risk in men. It appears that the extra boost in total body bone mineral density you get from getting extra calcium is lost within a few years, even if you keep the calcium supplementation up. This suggests a partial explanation for the long-standing enigma that hip fracture rates are highest in populations with the greatest milk consumption. Maybe an explanation why they're not lower, but why would they be higher? This enigma irked a Swedish research team, puzzled because studies, again and again, had shown a tendency of higher risk of fracture with a higher intake of milk. Well, there is a rare birth defect called galactosemia, where babies are born without the enzymes needed to detoxify the galactose found in milk, so they end up with elevated levels of galactose in their blood, which can cause bone loss even as kids. So maybe, the Swedish researchers figured, even in normal people that can detoxify the stuff, it might not be good for the bones to be drinking it every day. And galactose doesn't just hurt the bones. That's what scientists use to cause premature aging in lab animals. They slip them a little galactose, and you can shorten their lifespan, cause oxidative stress, inflammation, brain degeneration, just with like the equivalent of 1 to 2 glasses of milk's worth of galactose a day. We're not rats, though, but given the high amount of galactose in milk, recommendations to increase milk intake for prevention of fractures could be a conceivable contradiction, so they decided to put it to the test, looking at milk intake and mortality, as well as fracture risk, to test their theory. 100,000 men and women followed for up to 20 years. What did they find? Milk-drinking women had higher rates of death, more heart disease, significantly more cancer for each glass of milk. 3 glasses a day was associated with nearly twice the risk of death, and they had significantly more bone and hip fractures too. Men in a separate study also had a higher rate of death with higher milk consumption, but at least they didn't have higher fracture rates. So a dose-dependent higher rate of both mortality and fracture in women, and a higher rate of mortality in men with milk intake. But the opposite for other dairy products like soured milk and yogurt, which would go along with the galactose theory, since bacteria can ferment away some of the lactose. To prove it, though, we need a randomized controlled trial to examine the effect of milk intake on mortality and fractures. As the accompanying editorial pointed out, we better figure this out soon, as milk consumption is on the rise around the world.
Let me just say, I want to thank my buddy, Dr. Michael Greger, and his amazing, wonderful website, nutritionfacts.org. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe to that website. It is absolutely free, all science-based, fantastic, amazing website. Just phenomenal work. So again, cow's milk consumption, type 1 diabetes in different countries, consistent results. The more milk a country drinks, doesn't matter what country, the more they drink, the more type 1 diabetes, consistent around the world. Association of cow's milk consumption, multiple sclerosis. Again, consistent result. The more milk, the higher the rate of MS. Again, very scary, but very consistent.